Welcome to the Intuitive Teacup, my friends. These tarot readings are meant to motivate, empower, and inspire you. Please keep an open heart and an open mind as you watch these general readings, as some material will resonate and some might not. Do have faith it is serving someone out there, and take away only what resonates for you. Please release the rest. Feel free to book a personal reading with me if you would like something catered specifically to your inquiries and energy. That information is down below for you. You are responsible for all actions and decisions and the vibe that you bring to this channel. This is optional advice or guidance, and of course, you will always have free will. Check the box below for my social media links, the decks I use, and more information on this channel. Let's hop into your tarot reading. What's up, Taurus? Welcome to my channel, Tarot by the Intuitive Teacup. We are here to do February Valentine's Day love tarots. They're primarily about love and romance, so I'm calling them Valentine's Day, but here's what we're actually going to talk about, a sneak peek. We're going to talk about how you can love yourself more, what you positively contribute, what you positively bring to relationships, areas that maybe deserve a little bit of time, attention, areas for growth, right? And then who or what is coming into your life. Again, these are roughly for the month of February, but only take what resonates, release the rest. So let's hop in here. How can you love yourself more? It says religious factors is the card that's shuffled out. So your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing and spiritual path. So a couple messages here because you are Taurus. This feels like there's definitely kind of like an homage to the Hierophant, right? The Pope, the priest, the spiritual leader. So if spirituality is of great importance to you in your life, that's awesome. Spirit is asking you to embrace that more. If that is not so much important, whether it's spiritual or religious upbringing or whatever, something about that is providing you good stability and clarity on what you desire in relationships. Also, in terms of redirecting love back to yourself, spending time in your faith is important. The other route I could take this to, which I think is just as valid, is almost, if you're going to look at it as like, I'm hearing like preachings, religious preachings. I think it has to do with the moral code, the ethical code at which you hold others to in relationships. Ultimately, to me, it's saying in a very Taurian way, stick-to-itiveness. Almost like I'm even going to use the word stubbornness in terms of what you will accept from love. I think a lot of you are being asked to set very healthy boundaries. And, if you dream of the Cinderella story, shoot for the sky, aim for the stars, however you want to say it. You may have to make small compromises and small negotiations, but not a lot in terms of the greater substance and importance of what you seek in a mate, as well as what you seek in yourself. So having a good standard of measure, if that makes sense, having a list of absolute requirements, and I do challenge you, Taurus, to not look at it in terms of, tall, dark, and handsome. That really doesn't matter in the long term. I mean, sure, manifest with details, be specific, but if you meet your perfect person and they're 5 inches shorter than you thought, what are you, not going to date them? Like, give me a break. Focus on the substance, the internal, what matters in terms of someone's ability to love you, right? Their emotional intelligence, things of that sort. Really important qualities in your lover as well as in yourself. Don't settle. It's okay to be very strict, and I am wanting to say stubborn in terms of what you desire in a mate. That's not something you should easily be giving up on or flexible with, right? And then valuing yourself. How can you love yourself more? King of Pentacles. Make sure you're giving your energy, giving your time, your love, and affection to people who deserve it and who are giving it back to you, right? The King of Pentacles doesn't give offers to, Page of Pentacles people, right? They're just not on the same level. So I think a message here for a lot of you too, especially, this is about self-love ultimately, but I think it would honor yourself more to have higher standards. Raise the bar in terms of what you are willing to accept in love. That's sort of Spirit's message to you on what you can do to increase your self-love. I think a lot of you are possibly have an earth sign either coming in, or you're currently with one who you guys are on the same page spiritually. You do desire the same things. So that's very important. There needs to be some sort of consistency in terms of what you guys want in the future, unless you're not looking for that, and not everybody is. But if you're looking for something that's going to last more than a couple weeks or a couple months, it's almost like the bigger picture. It would be good to talk to your person about deeper spiritual matters in terms of what they desire in long-term relationships. So then let's go over here. Actually, I want to add one more to this. For Taurus, for self-love, what these are just little words that sometimes can be very impactful. So there we go. Success. Bloom wherever you are planted. Especially for my Tauruses who feel like they need to up and leave relationships to keep it interesting, right? If you get bored very easily, you may find success in actually trying to work out a problem with a new perspective in a different way than you have before, rather than, I'm literally seeing someone pull like chapters out of a book or out of a journal and crumple it up and start fresh. That's not always going to serve you, and I just feel like some of you may be grappling with a problem in your relationship. Maybe you're literally journaling about it. There's something about, rather than ripping it out and crumbling it up, it's working with what you already have and making it better, which is very Taurian anyway, right? You being the fixed zodiac sign. Anyway, so that's just a word that wanted to be seen and heard. What do you positively contribute in relationships? The first card that came out is engagement. Your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment. So those out there seeking commitment, it seems like you do have a devotion and a dedication to the people in your life who you hold a lot of love and respect for. Again, make sure that you are seeking partners who can return that back to you. There needs to be reciprocity. And there's something about you provide people with a lot of mental clarity. It seems like you don't like to keep people guessing. You don't, a lot of my Tauruses, you're not in it for the tricks and the head games and the, almost like cat and mouse chase. I feel like for a lot of you, it's like you're so above that. Like that's for children. There's an element of maturity. Thank you, Spirit. That's the word I was harping around. There's an element of maturity in that when you're with a partner, you're pretty blunt. You're pretty like, this is what I'm into. This is what I'm not. This is what I'm looking for. This is what I'm not. It's saying to me a lot of you are very good about spelling it out for your person, so there isn't a lot of mystery of, oh, well, do they like me? I don't really know. It's like, well, I'm going to tell you. You may have different ways of communicating that, like different love languages, whether it's physical touch or words of affirmation, but what I like here is that you don't keep your person in the dark, Taurus. You're pretty straightforward with what you want and how you feel. And so I would challenge you too. It's easy when you're into someone, right? Letting them know that. But if you're not, if you're sort of wavering on the idea of I'm with someone, but I don't think I'm happy, don't see it as you being the idea of being brutally honest. In a way, it's saying to me that's your strength. So you can always do it in a kind and compassionate way. But I'm sort of hearing things like you don't mince words. You don't say things you don't mean. You're very good at following through with your promise or with your actions. Like there's a lot of like no bullshit here, which I really like. And so I'm just being called to say, so if some of you maybe you're wanting to exit a relationship, for those who this resonates with, know that you need to value your truth, and there's always a delicate way to communicate it where you don't have to completely destroy this person's life. But ultimately, if it's not your person, if it's not your path, if it doesn't feel right, then trust that. Trust your intuition. There is great integrity behind your words and your actions towards those that you really love. So universe is like, nicely done, Taurus. That's what you got going for you, at least this month anyway. And for some of you, you might be getting engaged, right? Especially with your Earth King, a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. It doesn't have to be. I mean, that could easily be you as well. But for some of you who are already in a relationship, and again, religiously, spiritually, morally, ethically, whatever, you feel like you're really on the same page with your person. You've met someone who your ideologies are very similar. You guys can bounce ideas off each other well. You have the same goals, right? That may be engaging even more. You may find success in terms of bringing your relationship to the next level, be it moving in together or becoming exclusive or possibly marriage for some of you, right? Or possibly with an Aquarius, a Sagittarius, a Virgo. Obviously that wouldn't come out of nowhere, right? You would probably be sort of feeling that or hoping for it. So for some of you, I hope that's your message. That's great. You're very good with your words. I don't know if some of you have very strong Gemini in your chart, or some of you may work in public speaking or something, but your words are very beautiful and they're very powerful. They're very profound. It's like they hit the nail on the head. So maybe you're going to be writing love letters to your person or something like that. You may also find yourself karmically ending up with people who have a lot of trust issues because they have been burned by people of their past. In which case, Taurus, I don't know why it's coming up in the order it is, but it's like you, Taurus, find yourself with people who have a lot of trust issues. So for you, that's been a struggle in terms of feeling like you're attracting the same person, even in, different forms, different faces, different people. But there's almost a strength to it because for most of you, it's like you're a really solid person. You're a very good person. You give them reason to let their guard down and allow them to love again without all these boundaries or all the walls that they've put up in all their partnerships. It's like something about you allow them to relax. I'm hearing the word like nestle. So like nestle in. There's something where it's like you're healers or like a light worker, people who have had trust issues in past relationships. It's like they've been redirected to you for a reason, to learn something from you, Taurus, about your compassion, about your openness, again, about saying and feeling, or saying and thinking exactly what you feel, wholeheartedly, not having to disguise it. That's something very valuable that your partner can learn from you. All right, so areas of focus and growth. This is, if this is the pros, this is maybe the cons, or I'm not even going to say that. Like areas of strength, maybe this is maybe some areas of weakness, something that may deserve a little bit more attention from you. So this says deception. Someone is wearing a false mask in this relationship. So usually for me as a reader, this is my card saying that someone is lying to themselves, or someone is not being upfront with the truth about how they're feeling. What's interesting is this is the exact opposite message of the one I just gave you, of someone in a relationship is very open and easily willing to express how they're feeling and not paint a confusing picture for their person. It's like they say what they mean and they mean what they say. This is the opposite. So are you dealing with someone who really struggles with that? Are you dealing with someone who does have their wall up? The thing is, the message still stands. I mean, I think in time, if this truly feels like a good match, if this is a healthy fit for you, you're going to help this person kind of take off their mask and reveal their inner feelings. But yeah, it's like, I'm feeling the vibe, but I'm having trouble saying it verbally. You're like medicine for this person. There's something good, like it goes down smooth and then they feel better at the end of it. That sounds kind of sexy. But it's like you're a very spiritually ascended person. There's something very healing about your presence in a relationship, I think more so than you give yourself credit for. So don't beat yourself up about that. But the funny thing is, it's coming up in terms of areas of growth. So I almost get the sense that you might be writing someone off too soon because they struggle to open up. It's like they check a lot of boxes in terms of what you're looking for, but you just feel like you can't penetrate that wall as much as you try. I think in time you will, but your challenge or focus, it almost seems like a pairing. It has to do with your partner not being as open as you would like them to. I think your area of growth may be to practice patience with this person. Know that you can't force someone to open up. You have to let that happen organically, and they will do that when they're ready. But I don't know. I just think a lot of you may be in a relationship where you're dealing with someone who has some trauma from their past. There may have, God forbid, been abuse issues in their past, or trust issues, or something where it impacts their ability to love. You met this person for a reason, Taurus, because by example, you're going to show them how beautiful it is to be vulnerable, to be authentic, and to be able to feel a sense of safety while being able to share everything that's going on in their heart and their head and this and that. Your challenge, I think, is to practice patience with someone who you really love. Someone who, again, you see a lot of potential in. And it's not to say you're looking at them as like a project, like you need to fix them, because I would say that's very unhealthy. So if that's how you're looking at your love relationship, whoop, that's a red flag. So just be cognizant of that. A lot of you, because you're very intuitive, especially my Tauruses who have a lot of water in their chart, particularly like a watery moon or something like that, a Venus that's in water, there's something about intuitively you sense that there's a reason why you're with this person, but you're stuck, or you're feeling like it's stagnant because it's like they'll only go so far and then they throw up the walls. They have to adapt. This person you might be dealing with a mutable sign actually. This person has to get more comfortable with sharing and openness in relationships and partnership. For most of you, I think they will get there, but I think your challenge or focus is like maintaining the relationship you have and not putting too much pressure on your person to act or do something that goes against their nature. But it's almost like letting them know that like you're in a safe space, like you can trust me. And for you, Taurus, it has so much more to do with, and it's almost like that, help me out here, Spirit. It's like I'm hearing all talk and no action. You can tell them that till they're blue in the face. This is a safe space. You can trust me. You can open up to me. It's going to take more than you telling them that, though. You have to show them that. You have to demonstrate it every day that you're there for the long haul, that you are there to love and support them. And you can only do your best, Taurus, right? Ultimately, this person has to do healing is responsible for doing their own healing work, but you can love and support them. And I think that's your challenge or focus, is being there for your person, right? You can't pour from an empty cup. So always, make sure that you are taking care of your own mental, emotional, physical health. But yeah, it's interesting because this to me says your area of focus or challenge in the month of February is maintaining a relationship with a person who, again, I think you have a lot of feelings and affection for, but you're like, it could even be like, are they ever going to marry me? Or are they ever going to because it's like you've set the groundwork, you've laid the foundation for this to grow, but it's a two-way street. If, as much as you want it to grow, your person has to meet you halfway. I think your person will get there. You're very charming. They like you a lot, but they are still recuperating from some, again, past issues. So give them time and space to do that. I hate to keep repeating myself, but that's the message there. Give me one or two of these. Area of focus for Taurus. What can they focus their energy on? Yeah, I just keep hearing you're like medicine. So some of you may literally work in medicine. You may be a doctor or a nurse or a spiritual healer. But I just keep hearing you're like medicine. You go down and it's like you help them heal something internal. It's a really beautiful message. Just make sure people aren't taking advantage of you, right? Kind of like hit it and quit it energy in terms of they use you for your spiritual energy and love, and then they go in another direction. If that has been I'm hearing serial dater, but if that has been something you experience where these people come in your life and then they leave as soon as it seems like, just as quickly, it's because you may be attracting certain people who maybe because they're damaged and broken, you see yourself as, oh, good, I can help them. That's my place in this relationship. That you may need to change your perspective on, because it's like, you can't fix those people, right? Again, they're responsible for their own healing. Anyway, it says be present, use the hours, don't count them. I think that's really important, because as much as you're projecting into the future of how great it could be when you move in together, when you start a family, when you get married, when whatever, it's saying, listen, for most of you, if this makes sense, your person is in your life right now. It's not always an ideal situation, because I think you want this to be so much more than it is, but you're quite simply being asked to appreciate it for what it is now. There's always room for growth and improvement, and there will always be in any relationship, right? There's always going to be that one little thing that kind of nags you and you want to work on and you want them to work on, right? That's fine. I mean, the only constant in life is change. So it's great that you are shooting for the moon, right? You want this to ascend in a better direction over time, but you may be negating the importance of what you're going through currently, or you may be really not appreciating, having gratitude for, hey, you know what? We connected here in this lifetime. We're together. So let's just make this day a really good day, and we'll worry about tomorrow, okay? Be present. That's a good challenge or focus for you. And then last but not least, who is coming into your life? You deserve love. So I kind of get that for some of my Tauruses, right? These are general messages. You already have someone in your life that it's like you're shooting the love arrow at. You already have your sights set on someone. It might be a Sagittarius or another Taurus, maybe a Virgo. It says you are lovable. I think this is something you're constantly reminding your person of too. I do feel like you're dealing with someone who doesn't always... You're dealing with someone who beats themselves up a lot. It's someone who doesn't always feel like they deserve love. They may self-sabotage. This person who you currently are dating, again, if they have trust issues, it might be that every time it gets real or serious, they up and leave because they don't like to experience that emotion that is, I don't know, it triggers them from the past. I think you are going to work it out with this person. I do see success. I think your person is going through a bit of a shift in their timeline, and it feels very important. It feels very profound, but it doesn't feel easy. So again, if there's true love and commitment there, I think you will help see them through, but it will require a lot of patience on your end. Make sure this doesn't become an addictive or a codependent relationship. Make sure that, because a lot of my Tauruses, it feels like spiritually you may be a little bit more mature or experienced. You may have done a lot of shadow work or healing work in the past. Make sure that this doesn't become almost a parent-child dynamic where it's like you're the teacher and they're the student. Because again, you guys kind of need to be on an even playing field. Something about the shift of power dynamics. This person in their past may have been addicted to the idea of authoritative or domineering partners. So make sure that it doesn't become that, because that's going to scare them away. I don't know. I see you guys moving forward, even though this relationship is tricky. I understand where there are definitely some pitfalls. Right now, it's not ideal, but I have to be honest, for some of you, that you have some very strong cards if you can work through, or your partner does the work to work through their own trauma or whatever it is, things that are sort of holding them back in relationships. You have Assessment and Ace of Wands. So for most of you, I think after this person goes through a period of, again, transition, transformation, I think the spark between you guys is big enough where this could carry into the future. I also think there's a message here of you guys being past life relationship people, right? So even if this isn't your forever person, this may have been a karmic relationship where, here's the thing, I'll be honest, Taurus, this seems like if this is karmic, right? If this is a person who you were meant to interact with in this lifetime but isn't necessarily your forever person in this lifetime, a dating situation, whatever. It seems like this was almost more so for them than it was for you, because a lot of my Tauruses have something very valuable in terms of their wisdom and insight. It's like this person was brought to you essentially to learn some sort of valuable lesson about themselves, about loving themselves more, because that's what you're demonstrating for them. I hope that makes sense to a lot of you. Some of you may actually be like spiritual preachers or teachers or something about that. It's like you're a good mentor. Again, it's not an uneven power dynamic. It's just you're very open with sharing wisdom with this person. I think that they really need that. They really need that. So make sure they're open to it, right? That this person doesn't want to be talked down to or scolded. But again, if you let it develop organically, I see you guys having a lot of deep, hearing philosophical conversations. Yeah, something about the exchanging of your words. It's very profound. It's very powerful between the two of you. A lot of you seem to be dealing with a Sagittarius. It could be another fire sign, an Aries, Leo, Sag. The zodiac sign doesn't really matter, but I think you've already taken aim at this person in terms of you would like to have a future with them. I think if you are patient and give it time and not try and force anything, I think there will be new sparks that help this relationship to ascend to a higher level. Let's throw some zodiac signs on this, I guess. Who or what is coming in for Taurus in terms of zodiac signs? These cards stick a little bit, so all right, we got 4. Let's see. So Sagittarius, that's definitely, you see the archer, that's why I was saying that. Definitely a lot of Saggy vibes. And Saggies, a lot of this makes sense to me in terms of like Saggy trajectory, in terms of those who are kind of going through a bit of a time. Anyway, you may have Sag in your chart too. Anyway, Scorpio also came out. You have Aquarius, and you also have Gemini. All right. We'll do a couple oracle cards and we'll wrap it up. All right, this came right out. It says, get grounded. Empaths, highly sensitives, connect with nature. Get grounded. And that's more or less the message here to me too, especially with like the Earth King, right? Earth signs. You guys are slow and steady wins the race, especially Taurus, because you are the fixed sign. It's like, I always associate that get grounded with Taurus. I don't think this is time to uproot yourself. I don't think a lot of you are running from something or racing in to ascend as much as you may like to, right? You may be getting a little impatient, but ultimately I see a stick-to-itiveness in your nature in the month of February. I think a lot of you are choosing to stand by a person who, again, they're going through a bit of a time, but you're going to be there for them. And I think there is reward on the other end of that, as long as you honor yourself and practice safe, healthy boundaries, right? It should not be your intention to save this person, right? Because that's not your role. That's not your job. But you can be a great collaborator, right? Yeah, it's almost like there's good compatibility here. It's just your person has a little bit more growing and maturing to do. So you always have the choice, right, to take a break and revisit this at a later date, because there is a very heavy-heartedness to not wanting to let this person go, but almost like this like self-sacrificial martyrdom thing. I don't know if that's the right word, but it's like, maybe it's not best for me to be in their life right now because they have a lot of stuff to sort through. That is valid, Taurus. And again, that shows me a ton of emotional integrity in terms of what you're willing to give this relationship. If you gave this person time with the idea that if they get their ducks in a row and they want to start something with me again, I think a lot of you would be open to that, right? It doesn't seem like this person is trying to put you through a trajectory of pain and disappointment and heartbreak. And the thing is, I don't think you look at it like that. I think there's a heavy-heartedness of, I wish I could help them more, but ultimately it's their head, it's their mind, it's their emotions. So maybe your person needs to seek counseling, right? That could do amazing transformative things in their life. You seem like a person who, no matter what this relationship ends up being, this seems like you guys will have established a very strong spiritual connection for life. Probably through other lifetimes too. In terms of it getting off to like rapid success and engagement and moving in and all that, I don't see that happening maybe in February, but it's not to say it couldn't happen later on. Anyway, get grounded. And make sure that you're also, especially if you have strong water, you're not taking on that energy of absorbing others' energies, absorbing their pain, absorbing their, I'm hearing unclarity. Whatever kind of toxic shadow, whatever you want to call it, traits that they're trying to rid themselves of, make sure you're not taking on that energy just to get it away from them. Do you know what I mean? A lot of you definitely have like this kind of like shamanic healer vibe to it, which it's very beautiful, but again, you need to be conscious of your own energy and what you're kind of absorbing from the people you hang out with. And for some of you, this might not be romantic. I'm reading for romantic love, but this could be someone in your family, right? This could be your best friend or your sister, or your brother, or your mother, something like that. Love oracles. All right. Close her on up with this. Oh, that came right out for Taurus. You got Sappho. Let's see. Love is a cunning weaver of fantasies and fables. Someone in some future time will think of us. What is beautiful is good, and who is good will soon be beautiful. All right, Taurus. So that is what I got for you. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy February. And I will see you next Wednesday for more tarot readings. Bye, guys.